Swiss Gardens Primary School. Jade, I understand your child has been offered a place at St Andrews in Worthing, even though there are two schools much closer to your home.
Hey Alison, thanks for having me on this morning. We have two great schools within catchment here, and it was really difficult which one to put down as our first choice, but they were down as our number 1 and 2, and then we have another one that is also still closer to our house than this Worthing school, which was our third choice. So it was a massive shock to find out on Wednesday that we had none of those choices, and we'd been given a school that is over 6 miles from our house, which I think is almost double the distance of the other schools. And then to find out we're not alone, and there's another 24 children in our school that have got this same problem.
How have the last couple of days been for you?
Oh, they've been awful. It's really nice to have someone to ask that. I haven't had any sleep. I've struggled to get sleep. I've been waking up every hour. I think most of the day I've been on my phone trying to get people to listen to us, trying to help the other parents come together and work out how to do their appeals, looking at our options, looking at how can we tackle this, trying to reach West Sussex County Council, who have not spoken to us. They didn't give us any warning of this. They will have been aware of this for a long time. They could have prepared us to look outside of catchment, to look at some of these other schools. It's been a really worrying couple of days. I've forgotten so many of the things that we're meant to do. I sent my poor kids to school with no packed lunch on Wednesday.
Oh, darling. We've all been there. Don't beat yourself up over it, really. Do you know what, though? That's why I asked you, how have the last couple of days been for you? Because I don't think that people always get it, but I do. I had a couple of text messages come through, actually, that really annoyed me. They were along the lines of, oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Why can't a child travel a bit further afield for school? I did it in my day. It made me the person I am. I had another one that said, look, you don't choose a job because your friends also work there. Why should it be any different when you send your kids to school? See, I just think that shows a lack of understanding. I think you want the best for your child, and going to secondary school is a big deal. I won't say exactly how old I am, but I'm a fair age, and yet I remember really clearly the fear, the panic, the nerves I felt on my first day at secondary school. And so it can be really daunting, and I totally get it. You want your child to be happy. I mean, how have they taken the news?
Just before I answer that, I think to just talk about what you just said about the travel aspect of it is a minor thing, but the reality of the difference, that distance between where we live, means it's not our community. It's a different community. We're very close-knit here. All of our children's friends live very close together. They go to school together, and it will be nice for them to go to secondary school and expand that. But in our community, where, when they have sleepovers, when they have play dates, when they're doing things, that they are local, when they're doing school clubs, they are local to your area. It also adds like a massive logistical challenge when you've got children at other schools and you need to pick them up. There will be so many compromises for this. And our children and us have all gone to look at 3 schools. It's not like we've been stupid and lasered in on one of the best schools and we only want to go to that one. We have gone and looked at 3 schools, and our children have decided to go to one of those schools, and then they've been given something that is completely different and in a different town. And I think also, it's kind of the elephant in the room, but for St Andrews, it's a very different school to many of the schools that we've looked at. Yeah. This is a school that is historically only a boys' school. They've only accepted girls the past 2 years. It is a faith school with active worship, and as you said, actually their latest Ofsted rating is inadequate, which is lower than requires improvement. And all of this is on paper, doesn't sound very good, but we've had no chance to go and see that school and to see lot of us, it's probably not a school that we would have gone and looked at in Worthing. We probably would have gone and looked at some of the others.
Yeah. But saying that, Jade, if you'd have been given the heads up that there was a chance that you wouldn't be getting any schools in Shoreham, you know, you might have approached the whole thing differently. And that's why we really wanted to talk to West Sussex County Council this morning and ask what's gone wrong in Shoreham? Why are so many people not getting what they wanted? They wouldn't come on the programme, they didn't have anyone available, but they did give us quite a long statement. They say everyone who applied for a secondary school place in West Sussex has been offered one, with the overwhelming majority of children, 96.1%, being offered one of their 3 preference secondary schools and 86.4% offered their first preference. There will be a small number of families to whom we are not able to offer a preference to. This can be for a variety of reasons, and we recognise how frustrating this can be for families in these situations. Our school's admissions team is on hand to offer support to families in this situation and provide further advice on the options available. I mean, I guess one of those options, Jade, is appealing the decision. Will you do that?
Yes, 100%. We are all doing that. And those figures that they have given, the percentages year on year are lower. So they're trying to just cover their backs with numbers, and it's not going to wash. I really don't, what did they think we were going to do? This is not one child. I'm so glad I'm not alone, because if I was by myself, it would be so much harder to tackle this.
Well, look, you're certainly not on. You're not on your own. Whilst we've been talking, the phone lines have been going, and in fact, Amy has given us a ring. Amy Boyce. Amy, I understand you find yourself in the same situation as Jade.
Yeah, hi there. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, I tuned in and heard everything that's been had to say, and Jade, you really put it succinctly, and it has just been the most stressful couple of days. And you don't realise until you're in this situation how much it means. I mean, obviously you do, but we all naively thought that we would get the school, one of the 3 preference schools that we put down, because historically that's what's happened to all of the children that certainly go to Swiss Gardens. If they don't get their first or second, at least they get their third. And so when you find out that you haven't got that, you realise the impact or this decision, how much that's going to impact our young children who are embarking on such a big change in their lives. And it is important they're with their friends. We've got other people who have got the school they want, but they now don't have any friends going to that school with them.
Have you managed to get hold of anyone from West Sussex County Council? I mean, have they given any explanation as to why this has happened?
No, we do want answers, and we've got, like as Jade said, a group now of parents, and it's not just the parents it's affecting, this year. We're hoping to get on board parents who have got children, next year and the coming years, because this problem isn't going to go away. We hope to get them on board as well, so that we can have a meeting with West Sussex County Council, ask the questions that need to be asked, and get honest answers, because this isn't an acceptable, acceptable offer. We can't be travelling over 6 miles to school that we've not visited, that's not in our community, and that was not in our plan. So we do need to get some answers.
Amy, thank you for your call today. Listening to all of this is Alistair Reid of the Future Ada Schools team and chair of the governors of Swiss Gardens Primary School in Shoreham. Alistair, what has gone on here? Because West Sussex County Council say more children in West Sussex have been offered their first preference secondary school than last year, but obviously that hasn't happened in Shoreham.
Yeah, I mean, this number about first choice preference in West Sussex is relevant, really. West Sussex is tens of thousands of kids. It's irrelevant to what's happening in this story, right? This story is totally and utterly unprecedented. Every year there are like 1 or 2 kids who don't get their first choice, second choice. Maybe the maximum I've ever heard of is 7 kids. Never in all the time this has been happening in this region for decades have 30 plus families not got any, not their first choice, not their second choice, not their first choice, not any of their choices. Right? This has never happened. And going back to why this has happened, this should be of no surprise to anyone. When we set up FAST 5-6 years ago, it was literally to look at this problem, because we could see all the primary schools in Shoreham expanding by 1 or 2 elementary schools. The school population almost doubled in the primary school, and that gives the council 6 years to see those numbers coming down the road to hit secondary school. And they've got 6 years to plan, 6 years to build capacity, and they haven't done anything, right?
So they've dropped the ball as far as you're concerned. Do you know what I found really interesting as well is you can hear, when you listen to Jade, when you listen to Amy, you can hear how stressed they are. But I do think it's one of those situations that if you haven't been there, you probably don't realise the enormity of this. I mean, you must see parents all the time totally beside themselves because of this.
Yeah, 100%. You know, as a parent, you know, what is more important than the sort of safety, happiness of your child, right? And so going secondary school, sorry, I'm quite emotional. You know, putting your kid in secondary school is a massive deal for their future, right? And to feel that like you've got no agency whatsoever where they end up, it's just like that's so unfair, and there's so much pressure on those kids, on those families, and you know it's completely avoidable. They knew it was going to happen. They knew what they had to do to sort it out. I've seen emails from you know, local politicians as late as June last year saying, "Don't worry, it'll all be fine. You'll have your places." And all the parents were ignored. We were flagging this up for years and years and years, and you know, and then here we are. And there's actually, you know, it's difficult to see a way out of this at this stage.
Oh, Alistair, I'm sorry. You can hear, can't you, just the frustration that this is causing. Look, leave it with us. As I say, we did approach West Sussex County Council. They said that no one was available to speak to us this morning, but I think you're right. I think you deserve some answers, so we'll keep on asking. It's 8:26. With the latest on the roads, here's Cranners.
Thank you, Alison. Well, let's look